standing right in the middle of that assault. So where those arrows are, put your finger just behind the 41st New York, somewhere in that area. And as you look at that map, it gives you some altitude on this situation. Cemetery Hill directly ahead. And the idea was, of course, that as Hays and Avery, as they advanced against Cemetery Hill, they would be supported by, or I should say, in conjunction with, Robert Rhodes's division. This is a pure mystery as to why Rhodes did not coordinate his assault with Hays and Avery. Some people have speculated that Rhodes was sick. I think Alan mentioned yesterday, if he didn't, he should have, that the town was an impediment, and it was an impediment to get into place. But then the other point, and for those of you who were on the Lee tour, you were able to take in Rhodes's position, and as I noted, the ground changed so much that you can't get any feel for what they were up against. Rhodes's skirmishers did press forward a little bit, but they were knocked back pretty quickly. But the point again, and I can't stress this enough, July 2nd, the degree of coordination that Lee's army brought here, remarkable. Now, of course, if you want to take our standards of today, and you want to imagine that Longstreet got into a walkie-talkie and got to you and said, strike now, strike now. If you're expecting that kind of coordination, fine, but it's not historical. And what's truly amazing is that once Longstreet struck with all that might, what did it do to the Union line? The reverberations were felt all the way down here. And as you know, and I would probably argue, Meade did what? Overreacted a little bit in rushing troops down there and basically stripping Culp's Hill of any of its defenders. With that position weakened, Lee then of course pitches in with Ewell. We have the attacks off to your left on Culp's Hill, making our way here, and now we have this last great moment. Go back to Will Green's point. For every Southern boy, shouldn't be July 3rd anymore, it should be July 2nd, and one could even make the case it should be where? Right here. These two brigades, if attacked, or I should say if they had attacked in conjunction with Rhodes, imagine the possibilities. I just poo-poo counterfactual questions and look what I'm doing. We're all hypocrites, aren't we? So, Rhodes didn't make the attack. Again, a great mystery. Robert Rhodes's papers, you always hear these sort of rumors that they're out there, but they of course never surface. So we're never really sure why this didn't happen. We are now going to be walking in the wake of the 57th North Carolina, which would have been right in this area. As soon as the attack begins, what do these guys face? An immense artillery bombardment. I think it's 4 batteries total. There's a hell of a lot more guns back there on Cemetery Hill, but they can only bring 4 batteries, so that would be how many guns? 24 guns, that's right. And of course the guns that are going to inflict the most damage are where? Take a look, you can guess. Where are they going to come from? Stevens Knoll. There's just 1 battery there, but of course they're going to be able to hit the Confederates in a flanking fire. From this area right here, they're getting what fire? Shell fire, aren't they? Shell fire, which of course is having quite an effect. Carol Reardon in her new battle guide, and I forgot her co-author's name.
Bossler. Tom
Bossler. Oh, good, Tom Bossler. Is he a battlefield guide as well? Is he? Yeah. It's a good book. They commented that the movement of Avery's brigade was rather slow and tedious, having to get over some fences, getting out of that low ground. Of course, that's a problem for Avery's men because they got to get across this ground as quickly as possible. But, as I keep mentioning to you all, what's the great asset for Avery and for Hays? It's dusk. It is dusk. It is not a shield, but it certainly obscures their movements to some degree. Harry Fonz's account, he writes about the artillerist. Somehow, during the course of the day, well, I guess this was possible. They had Union skirmishers out where the moo-moos are. You're getting tired of me saying that? Where the cows are. Where the cows are. The artillerists had come out here and they had actually marked the range of their guns, and Hunt had allowed them to fire a few solid shots so they could get the range down. So they were well prepared. Now you all might disagree with me about this, but I would even argue that this is dangerously close to being a re-entry angle. Re-entry angle, of course, would be a Union line. Sorry, if you don't mind. This is a re-entry angle, right? Just like this. See the lines? It's like a big hug, a big embrace. Because for the enemy, when they're attacking, the deeper they get, the more problems they have, right? You have the beginnings of a re-entry angle right here. Certainly Stevens Battery is going to be able to take advantage of that and pile into the flank of the North Carolinians. Know it's hot out here? I'd like to get to the ridge line because, as you all know, walking the battlefield is everything. This is once again where we say, doom, disaster. But what happened, folks? They broke the Union line in two different places. Hayes' men did. We won't get to see that, and I don't know anything really about it, so that's a good thing. We're going to see, though, where the North Carolinians broke as well. But the ground takes on strange forms just on the other side of that ridge line. It's just like Pickett's Charge. For those of you who were with us yesterday and were at the Spangler's farm, that concealment that ground offers Pickett's division should radically alter your view of the battlefield. Same thing here. You're going to find that out in just a moment. It's rough ground. Before we go, do you need my microphone back? No, I'm saying. Okay. All right. Let's forge ahead.
A witness tree is a tree that when struck by lightning becomes a great fundraiser.
It does become a great fundraiser. Pretty cool, isn't it?
The ranger program for Cemetery Hill Division of Alice pays with the line.
Oh, I need to do it. I mean, I've read it.
Circle right here, so
This is kind of a mess here. Yes, and you know, just go straight. There used to be a nice road here.
Are you at odds with Yeltson's new book? Because he seems to keep saying that Lee was totally uncoordinated. Over and over.
Wildly wrong about that.
Okay. Trying to get my facts
He's
straight.
wildly wrong about that. There's a hard reality of that Lee's army, when you get past Wright's brigade, and if you remember, Will mentioned Carnet Posey, who gets wounded. That's one reason why that attack doesn't take off. Pender gets wounded. That inhibits it. But, I mean, when you talk coordination, if your standard is hitting at the exact same moment, or that's just not reasonable. That's not gonna ever happen.
That's the standard he told me to.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he is or not, because I haven't read that. Is that the standard he told you to?
No, he's not holding it to the exact same moment. He keeps repeating that there were so many lost opportunities because of the lack of coordination between the commanders.
I would say that there certainly were. I mean, one can make the argument that the failure here is a failure of coordination, but Robert Rhodes knew what he was supposed to do.
It's a failure of execution more than a failure of coordination.
Yeah.
He doesn't leave it as his failure of execution.
Yeah.
The author of the book you're talking about?
Dr. Gelzo.
Okay.
Did you have Dr. Gelson when you were here, Joe?
Yeah, he was my advisor when I was here.
Oh, was he? Yeah. Good God. I wasn't expecting this.
Just stay outside, we'll get used to it.
I loved we were talking about Oddball, Richard Ewell, in Span's biography of him. He says that the imbalance of the mind in the Ewell family was so common that Richard was considered the normal one.
That looks nasty, doesn't it?
Okay, so this tree line wasn't here.
Let's kind of veer over to that post over there. You see where that post and that fence is? No, to your left. Yeah, big one. That's where we'll stop. Al, you've walked this before, haven't you? They came off to the right, that's right.
Yeah, that's what allowed them to get up there because there weren't so many batteries pointed at them.
Well, and also, yes, and also that the federal infantry was crap. And, here we go. This is it. Yeah, don't be really close.
definitely going to get a T-shirt that says "I survived the sea comical death."
Hey, you know, this is not snowing and raining and sleeting and we go from one extreme to the other. That way. You been out here, Hal, before?
Yeah, I've been out here with Ed Bars. I think we should have gone farther to the south, hung around that witness tree rather than
David.
diagonally.
Why is that? That's where he thinks Avery's Brigade was?
Yeah, that's where Fonz shows him.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you know, this is
Then,
why these
we
people
got the
are
Everglades.
People have the left of the brigade here because it's pretty
I've had
over.
a few,
a lot of people say that Avery got wounded
Seen
with
a
the
few in my
football
day.
field.
and
And there's a lot of evidence that he got hit. I mean, obviously he was on the right-hand side of the brigade.
I didn't.
So I would say we're
have any
certainly where the
conversations with him.
57th was.
Holy moly.
You know what? We really can't see well from here. Yeah,
Right now.
Oh, moving.
Where are we going?
Higher. Up the hill.
Yeah, give us a real advantage.
Next time he says, can you see it? Everybody say yes.
Let's get with the program. That's like when the professor asks you if you need a quiz, you say no.
That's right, exactly. You got homework, no. Script for that.
Cut in line here.
It's hard to be out there.
Certainly on cemetery hill, that would be top of once the feathers get close.
Right. Once you get to Hot Bridge, you get the two roads.
Well, I gotta go.